Hello, my dear Meridianos. Thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate your presence. Today, we have a very, very, very special guest. This guy right here, this young boy, this guy has hacked the matrix. He has cracked the code. And today, he's going to show us how he did it, who is he, and the most important thing is how he has been doing this quantum jumping into a desired life. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we have DeAndre here in the house, Mr. Law of Attraction. DeAndre, how's everything going?
What's going on, family? It's your man, DeAndre Saxon, back for another video. Super excited to be here right now. And being introduced as Mr. Law of Attraction is funny now, because I was actually like a backup channel that I had produced, and now to be called Mr. Law of Attraction. And it's funny because as the channel grows, I'll literally be known as Mr. Law of Attraction, which is so funny. But I'm super excited to be here.
11,000 subscribers already, my friend. In what?
Yeah, in like
2 months,
in
something
2
like that?
weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah,
Whoa.
I think we're coming up on 3 weeks right now. I think on the 8th. The 8th is when we started. So
Yeah.
another, another week. So 3 weeks. Yeah.
Let me just put the people into context here. I've been following your channel since like a month ago. And I've been checking that you've been sharing a lot of information that I've never seen before. So I would like people to know about you, your story, how you were able to go from a couple of bucks in your checking account to make over $100,000 per month, living in Dubai, driving luxury cars, making it happen, and basically having the life that everybody wants to live. So tell us a little bit about your story, my friend.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm 28 right now. I was born in San Diego, California, to a Mexican grandmother and a Caucasian grandfather. So I come from a Latin household. My dad's Jamaican, so I got a nice little mix. I left to Miami when I was 21, 2018, to start my life. I left with $600 and a dream, and that's when I started my first businesses. I would go door to door trying to get clients for social media marketing, running ads for people. I was just do different things, right? And I got my first clients within a week or two. I started making enough money to rent a room in Miami, in Little Havana, and that's how I got started. After about 9 months of running that business, I actually failed and ended up sleeping in my car for 5 months when I was in Miami.
Wow.
At that period of my time, I was 22, I think. Yeah, about 22 years old, and I was failing. I wasn't gonna go back home, and that's actually when I landed in Medellin, Colombia. For those of you, I lived in Medellin. ¿Qué más pues? Yeah, that's actually where I learned Spanish. Yeah. So
shout out to all my people in Colombia.
Yeah,
shout
all
out.
my Colombians. I lived in Barranquilla, Santa Marta, Bogota, Medellin, obviously. I mean, everywhere.
Awesome.
And so the reason I went there the first time was in 2019, and because I was sleeping in my car and I had a friend go visit. So my Spanish is okay, and my Spanish is all Colombian. So all the paisa slang and stuff, which I'm not gonna say on this video right now. All of that I learned in Medellin. That's actually where I learned Spanish. Living there for 5 years. So yeah, so I went to Medellin, Colombia the first time because I couldn't afford Miami. I was sleeping in my car. Had some fun in Medellin over some period of time, and then I ended up going completely broke. I'm talking about no phone, no credit cards. I had a friend with me, and like you guys have never been in this situation where you're traveling and you're across the world or somewhere, and you have no phone, no credit card, and you have access to nothing, like nothing. I had to do FaceTime iMessage on my laptop because I didn't have a phone, and I was with a friend, and I had to stay with that friend just to eat or buy a bottle of water or anything. I was completely like gone.
Wow.
And so I had to come back home to San Diego, California. And I was sleeping on my grandparents' couch. Now, this is going into 2020. All right, so right at the end of 2019. So like October-ish, I go back to California. I'm sleeping on my grandparents' couch, which if you guys see my channel, I have like videos of like when I was sleeping on a couch. Like it was really sloppy. We don't keep a nice house where I grew up. It wasn't the cleanest, but so it was not a good environment. But I didn't give up. So what I started doing was I started driving for Uber because I needed to make cash. I didn't have any skills for a job because I had always run my own businesses, and my resume was completely blank. Even though I was like certified in running ads and running businesses, I wasn't certified to even flip a burger at McDonald's. So the only other option I had was to drive for Uber. But I never would give up. I knew I was always going to be a millionaire. So while I was driving for Uber, I did something weird where I would have an ear pod in my ear, and I would listen to different motivational speakers like Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, Jim Rohn, all these guys. And I came across this guy named Bob Proctor while I'm driving for Uber. And I started saturating my mind with this guy because his information was very valuable. Like, I like the other guys. No offense to the Tony Robbins and these guys. A lot of them is just words and words and words. So it's not really like actionable stuff. Whereas Bob Proctor is like, I got nuggets and I was like learning and I was growing and I was developing and I was implementing. And it was all like straight to the point and not a 30-minute audio talking about nothing.
Yeah.
So I started diving deeper into this guy, Bob Proctor, started watching his YouTube videos, and I was like, this guy knows what he's talking about. And it just so happened that he was going to be having a live seminar in Los Angeles, which is about 2 hours away from San Diego, if you guys don't know, Southern California. So it was like perfect timing. I just found this guy, Bob Proctor, and 2 weeks later, he's having an event in Los Angeles. It was like, okay, I have to go to this event. So I save up $500, and they were actually sold out they were sold out, the tickets. And so I kept calling them. I said, I'm going to this event. I'm going to this event. They said, sorry, we're booked. And I would call back the next day. I'd call back the next day. And I said, it was like the day before. And I told the lady, so you either going to take this $500 and give me a ticket, or I'm going to show up to the door and give it to you cash. Which is the best option for you? She hung up, called me back. Is like, okay, we'll give you a ticket. And then I went to the event. Like, that's how bad, like I wanted to change my life. Like some people come in here and they see a price tag and then they balk and they just like leave. And it's like, people do not want it as much as I wanted it. And in anything that I do, they just say it, but when it takes time to action, anyways, like, well, that's a whole other teaching point. So I go to this event, and in this 3-day event, it changed my life. And this is the first time I've ever heard about it. So for those of you coming from a Latin household, go talk about law of attraction and mindset and the law of vibration to your family and your abuelo, and he's gonna look at you crazy. You know, like, we come from like working hard, and my grandma was a housekeeper. Like, that's where I came from. So I'm learning about frequencies, law of vibration. The world is an ocean of motion, and law of attraction. And I had never heard this stuff, but spiritually, it made sense to me.
Yeah.
And so at that 3-day event, something in my intuition told me that I needed to work with this guy, because going back to the grandparents' couch, driving for Uber, and I was attempting to start an Amazon business at that time, that wasn't an option for me. But working with this guy and whatever the hell this stuff was, I wanted to learn it. So like typically at these seminars, they're always selling something and pitching, right? So I went to their little pitch to see what the pitch was, and that was to become something called a Bob Proctor consultant. Meaning, so this guy Bob Proctor would have like franchisees where you would pay a fee to go through university and license out his program. So I didn't work for the company. I wasn't a salesperson. I was franchisee. So I had to get my own clients, get my own processors, get my own contracts, do my own marketing. Everything, 95% of everything I had to do myself. But when it came to actually fulfilling the program, like giving the actual videos to watch in the workbook, it would be the Bob Proctor videos. So I would pay a nice little fee of about $1,000 to the company, and I would charge $8,000, $10,000 per customer. So it was an amazing setup, and it was like the perfect opportunity for me to get started. But I had to get the money for that. They wanted $30,000 to become a consultant.
Whoa.
Now, here I am. I'm sleeping in my car in Los Angeles. I have $128 in my account, and I have to work with this guy. So where does somebody get $30,000? And I didn't have it. So what did I do? First lesson I ever met from Bob Proctor that changed my life is you make a decision. Even if you don't have the money, even if you don't have the resources, first you make a decision, then the resources will show up. So what I did was I started to think, how can I get the money? And obviously the first option is break it up into payments. And I said, what's the minimum I could put down? They said $5,000. So I started thinking, and just the day before, I had gotten a credit card approved under my grandpa's name to buy Amazon products. I told you I was going to start an Amazon business. So I had an option, put it on my grandfather's credit card or leave and go back home. So what's the best option for me? I put it on my grandfather's credit card. And instead of asking for forgiveness, instead of asking for permission, I prayed for forgiveness. I called him. I didn't even call him. I said, hey, like, I put $5,000 on your credit card to join this company to teach law of attraction.
Say
right?
what?
He was pissed. He was pissed. But I knew that was my only option. That was my only option. So I jumped in. And I split the $30,000 payment over the year. It was a payment plan. So it was $3,000 a month, $3,300 to be specific. I was only making $1,000 a month driving for Uber. So I want you to understand my situation. This is now February 2020. Wow. I am $5,000 in debt on my grandfather's credit card, which if you never put debt on somebody else's life, like that's even worse than your own debt. Okay, let me tell you that. So I have $5,000 on my grandfather's credit card. I'm only making $1,000 a month. In 30 days, I have to make a payment not only on that $5,000, but another $3,300 to even keep access, or they're gonna kick me out, and I lost the $5,000. So like I jumped in and I stopped everything. I stopped driving for Uber. I stopped everything, and I went studying this material like you have never believed. I did exactly what Bob Proctor told me, which was reprogramming my subconscious mind, understanding that it was my subconscious mind that was my issue, my self-image, my goals, like this and this, and the entire program that we had. And I just jumped in and I saturated my mind with this material. And the craziest thing is I fly down to Medellin, Colombia,
Yeah.
right after I joined, and pandemics and lockdowns are happening. So the
Oh,
world's going crazy.
yeah.
I'm in this crazy ass position. And from that moment, 45 days later, I was making $100,000 a month. I literally manifested everything that I had used in the program and visualized. It came to pass. I visualized myself earning $100,000 a month, doing exactly what I was earning in the program.
Wow.
45 days later, through weird ass situations, it came to pass, and I started earning $100,000 a month and earned my first $1 million by the time I was 25. And I literally became a testimonial of the material and one of Bob Proctor's most successful and youngest students.
Yeah.
At the age of 24, I'm making at the age of 24. While I was working with the company, I was making $100,000, $200,000 a month. One of the youngest guys there, and becoming one of his inner circle members, and studied with him, and got to the opportunity to work with him, study with him for years, 2.5 years before he passed away. And in that time, I was able to just live the life of my dream, drive my dream cars, live in the place I wanted to live, and just live the life, like just learning the law of attraction and teaching my clients how to do it for themselves. It's been an amazing journey, you know?
It is. It is. As a matter of fact, actually, this is something that I've been checking on your channel, that you've been sharing all this information, and something that really caught my attention is that you've been doing that for free. I mean, this is crazy, because the last long video that you uploaded, which is like 30-minute video, something like that, that you were talking about the A goal, type B goal, type C goal.
Yeah.
I mean, the information over there is pretty explicit, if I may say. And the information that you've been sharing is pure gold. Now, my question is, DeAndre, what happened when you purchase, when you, when you click on place my order for $5,000? What happened through your mind? I mean, this is crazy, taking into consideration the fact that you didn't have anything. What happened? I mean,
When I started with Bob Proctor,
yeah.
I mean, I just got to work. I got past the terror barrier. Like the video I'm about to release right after this is called The Terror Barrier. I haven't taught it on my channel yet. I just got past my fears and I just jumped in. The fear of, or say the pain of being where I was at wasn't as powerful as the pain of moving forward through the unknown zone and going to the next version of myself. So I jumped in, and I'm a risk taker in anything. Like that wasn't the first time I've made risks like that. That was the one that finally paid off, but that was not the first time I took crazy risks like that, you know?
But and another thing that really caught my attention, you uploaded the video where you had the conversation with Bob Proctor.
Yeah, I have a couple more of those. I didn't have too many because I would get really nervous asking questions.
Yeah.
So I only have like 4 of them. So I'll probably post like one a month or something because I only have so many. And I just didn't have, I should have asked more questions, but I didn't know where I'd be, who's going to pass away and everything. Like in the moments, you don't look at these things. So I only have 4 of these videos where I actually have them recorded where I was talking to him. So yeah, I'll post a couple more.
That'll be great. Bob Proctor, may he rest in peace. He was such a great human being. I've been following Bob Proctor for a very long time. That's why I wanted to have you here on my channel, because I've talked about Bob Proctor before, and you know I do it most of the time in a lot of my videos. And what happened when you hired Bob Proctor to be your coach?
Well, I just started studying the program. So the way it worked with the franchise, which is called a consultant, was I was the coach. So I took the program and it was self-study. I didn't have a coach other than once I started winning. Like before I started winning, I didn't have access to Bob. Like Bob was a massive guy. There was 5,000 consultants and I was one of the 5,000.
Exactly.
And then I became number 1. So like it's not that easy. There was only 2 ways to get access to Bob. You either earn it by being number 1 like I was, or you go and pay for it like I did as well. So I paid for it and I earned them. So that was the only way to even get access to Bob. So I didn't have a coach. I was the coach. So I took the program, I took the workbook, and I became the product of the product. Nobody had sat there with me. Nobody taught me how to set my goal. Nobody looked at my goal. Nobody told me anything other than I took the program and I applied every line of that and became a testimonial for myself. Now I am the coach, I guess you can say.
That is awesome, my friend. Right now you're living in Dubai, right?
Yeah, I just got to Dubai. Yeah, I think I'm crossing my 3rd month, so I'm going into my 4th month now. Yes.
What's next?
Here scaling. I've been living like a digital nomad for the last couple of years, usually between Miami and Medellin. Like Medellin is my home. Like I will have property in Rio Negro or Copacabana. I'm gonna have like a finca, PH en Poblado. Like I'm gonna have all that. So that I'm gonna have a place in Miami, a place in Colombia, and then a place here in Dubai. But Dubai will probably be my main residence because of culturally, I think it's just like America's going crazy right now. And for children, I think that's the best position. And I think it's just as far as opportunity and money, I think this is really a good spot. I think it's much better than Miami. So
Wow.
I'm gonna be staying here and scaling the company, growing the business, living life here, and looking for my Colombian girlfriend. That's manifesting her. So that's pretty much it. I'm a far away. I'm far away, but I'm going to have a paisa girlfriend. I already know it. Yeah.
So to all my Colombian girls here in the channel, please get in touch with DeAndre as soon as possible, because I
That's
mean
funny.
it's getting hot. So so my
That's funny.
friend, just one last question. Living in Dubai, making everything that you've been doing so far, driving nice cars, spending time at your own, doing whatever you want. How does it feel compared to the old DeAndre, like probably
Oh
six,
man.
7 months ago, 6, 7 years ago?
I mean, this is I'm living it for sure, but
Yeah.
I'm nowhere where I want to be. Every day I wake up and think, how can I become better? I'm nowhere where I want to be, and now it's not even so much about money. Like I just in the last couple of weeks I've earned quite a bit of money. What some people earn a year, I earn in a week or two. So obviously I want to do some fun stuff. I've driven a lot of the fun cars and stuff, and I want to purchase the fun cars. But right now, I think what's driving me more is just serving people at a higher level.
Awesome.
And the only way for me to serve people at a higher level is for me to be more effective at what I'm doing. So that's the major question I wake up in. How can I be more effective? How can I make better titles? How can I make better thumbnails? How
Yeah.
can I keep people watching longer?
Yeah.
How can I give a value, but then sometimes you can't give too much value because people take it for granted and they have to pay for it. So it's like what's the perfect balance of giving like a 45-minute video just value where 99% of people will do exactly zero with it,
Yeah.
and where you give enough value and then mix in some shifting beliefs, mix in some like motivation, mix in some emotion, mix in some lifestyle, and then have us say, hey, if you want to take this to the next level, pay for it. And by simply them paying for it, just like I did, they get results because they actually paid and pay attention.
Yeah.
So it's just like this balance of giving too much value where people don't actually value it and work on it, and selling too much, making the best video. So that's all I work on every day is how can I make the best quality videos so that people can get results. Honestly, I'm not here to just make YouTube videos because I like making YouTube videos, which I do. It's like, how can I make YouTube videos that get people real results? So that's
Exactly.
why I talk about money. I post screenshots. I post bank accounts. I post even my clients that get testimonials. I get on a call with them. I need their bank accounts. I need their proof because this is all about results. I'm not just manifesting and talking about law of attraction to manifest a text back and manifest she comes back to you.
Yeah.
Or no, it's like, here's how much I made. I made 30 grand a week. I made $100,000 this month. My client, she made 25 grand. Here's the bank statements. Here's how it works. Here's exactly what we did. Here's how you do it for free on YouTube. If you want to make it faster, then you can join our program. So it's just finding this match so that at the end of the day, my clients and the people that watch get real results. And that is the only way Mr. Law of Attraction can become a household name is because people are getting results. But the way to get people results is done in a certain like finesse and dance of like free content,
Yeah.
paid content, and giving people in this little mix. So that's all I work on right
And
now, you know?
that's an amazing balance, because all the information that you've been sharing so far in your channel, it's amazing, pure gold, like I said before. So you've been sharing a lot, and you also have your school, where you have a selected group of people, and you also have like the VIP group as well, right? Where
Yeah,
you
so the main program that I have over 300 clients. They are in my main program.
okay,
So I have this one. These are it's a little bit more expensive, I guess you can say for most people. It's a nice big investment. So I just introduced the school community about 2 weeks ago for people that are just getting started off. Maybe they're not trying to manifest money, but they want to manifest to become an actor. Or I have this girl who wants to be an actor. I have people who want to be a professional athlete. So it's not, sometimes not tied to money, and they don't need so much access to me to scale like certain decisions. So the school group is for these guys, or guys that are just getting started off in business. So that one's a fun one. We have weekly calls. I do Q&As in there. They do have a Bob Proctor program, step by step, the same one that I took. They have the workbook, so they can go out there and have the same exact information that I had to scale. So I stacked that group so valuable that people can go and manifest results, which is why I said this girl, Sarah, I just did an interview I posted today.
Yeah.
She went from $300 a month to $25,000 a month in 2 weeks, all by herself in the group. Did not talk to her for that 2 weeks, all by herself. Same thing as me. So I know even if you do it in the small group, or if you want the people that are in my high ticket that I'm making them come up with decisions. So like, okay, how do I manifest this deal? And how do I take my business? How do I get better employees? How do I be better? Like, these are different level questions. I help them with these as well. So it's like there's different levels to the questions. And one thing I learned from Bob Proctor is the quality of your life is determined on the quality of the questions you ask yourself. So the quality of a question in a smaller group versus a bigger group is different. One guy's asking like, "Hey, DeAndre, I just manifested he has a construction company, and 21 years old, makes $95,000 a month at 21 doing construction.
Wow.
Right? And within 3 days of being in the program, he manifested his first $2.1 million deal, biggest construction deal. So like, we're gonna help work him through the meditations and the things he can do, so he can start working from the end fulfilled. If you already had closed that deal, what would you be doing now? What kind of contracts would you do? What would you be looking for? And then moving him in that direction rather than how does he make a sales call? What does he say at the sales meeting? But if he assumes the meeting is done, taking the principles that we learned from here, from Neville Goddard, then literally, you see how I take the material and I apply it to somebody's business so he can go close that deal. He wins, the customer wins, and now it's like, this is what the high level stuff is about. So it's really fun, you know.
Woo,
I enjoy it because there's so many different businesses and it's all the same principles.
That's awesome, my friend. Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't mean, like I said at the beginning of this call, I don't mean to take too much of your time. Now you're back to back with a lot of things going on right now. Just one last question. What is your next car that you will be driving?
I want to buy a car. And the number one car that I want right now, well, I want a couple cars. I'm probably going to get a McLaren 765 LT.
Oh la la.
Convertible.
Excuse me.
And I want it in a baby blue with an orange interior. That'd be nice. I think the McLaren is the best car out of the Ferraris, Lamborghinis. Like my personal best as far as comfort, good sound quality. Like I like a nice sound system, speed and everything, and adrenaline. McLaren 720S. Then it goes to Ferrari F8. That's really fun, nice and precision. And the worst one was the Lamborghini. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't even fit in it. I didn't like this audios and stuff, but it was a cool car. So McLaren, and then probably Rolls Royce Cullinan. I love those Rolls Royces. Those are fun.
I can visualize you over there driving through Dubai with the sound system, with starting from the bottom. Now we're here. Shout out to Drake.
That's it, man. I love it.
So thank you very much, my friend, for being here. I really appreciate everything that you are currently doing for humanity, for people that really wants to take it to the next level. I really appreciate that. So with that being said, any final words you would like to add?
Yeah, I mean, you guys can literally understand the universe, and it works with everything. This stuff has been hidden in plain sight for so many years, and for many of you guys, you've been stuck, you've been inconsistent, and you think that the physical world is the thing that's stopping you, or something outside of you. Once you realize that the outside world is a reflection of the inside world, that's when you start to take control of your life. But you start to wake up and you realize that there's more that's to it. It's a language, and you can watch some YouTube videos and put it together yourself. And that's fine. That's a really good start. That's how I started. But at the end of the day, sometimes you got to find a mentor. And that mentor, what he does is press his time frame. And that's what I did. And then once you learn the language, anything you touch succeed. So a lot of people see that I already hit 10,000 subscribers in a couple weeks on YouTube. But anything I touch, it succeeds. Whether it's the money, the business, now we're going for the Colombian girlfriend, whatever it is. Because I understand a language. I am just an older brother that's a couple steps ahead of you that has been studying this more deeply. And if I can do it, you can do it. I'm not selling or promoting anything that I created myself. I didn't have some secret formula. All I did was I put together this thing because I had a mentor who condensed time frames, and I was able to do it in a short period of time. And then I just teach it for free on YouTube. So the first step is waking up to know that you are the conscious creator of your life. Second step is seeking awareness, which I have tattooed in here. There's one of the last conversations I had from Bob Proctor. He said, seek awareness. I got it tattooed here to never forget. So always seeking awareness and growing your levels of consciousness to understand how the universe works and see through the matrix. And then understanding that you can bend the matrix to your reality, which is having subscribers, making more money, having your dream car, your dream girl, whatever it is, and then living that life. And that's the steps. And then after that, life becomes a video game. And it's, what do you want to do after that? Life is like Grand Theft Auto, you know?
It is. It is indeed. So thank you very much, my friend.
Of course. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Miami Patron.
Miami Patron.
That's my Instagram. YouTube right now is Mr. Law of Attraction. So apparently I have two nicknames right now. So, all right. I've always been Miami Patron for like 4 or 5 years. But now Mr. Law of Attraction might surpass that. I might have to change everything around. But Mr. Law of Attraction on YouTube. And then I have the school community for those of you that want to dive deeper. But I think the best bet is go watch my YouTube, see that first, and then you'll know what's the best decision for you before going to the school group.
That's awesome. Thank you very much, my friend. I really appreciate it. And to all my dear Meridianos, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it. I love you all. And we see you in the next one. Goodbye.